What's going on, everybody? This is ZC3 here, back to a brand new video. As you can see, once again, ladies and gentlemen, it's that time of the year, the best time of the year. It's March Madness time. The NCAA men's tournament has officially begun. We got the bracket, we got the team set up, who made it, who didn't. It's my favorite time of the year, as I've said many, many times. For the past, I think, 4 years now, I've done recaps on this, where I go through each day, each round, and discuss the games, who won, all the crazy upsets, blah, 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 blah. It's been one of my favorite series I've ever done on YouTube. And we are back. I know I've been away for a while. Was getting some decent traction, at least for me, getting a couple hundred views or 100 views per video when I was doing some stuff. And fell off a bit there. Got busy. Always been not the best at keeping a rhythm going with YouTube, but I'll definitely be doing this for a while. I do plan to actually return to YouTube with some game videos coming up soon. So it's not just all March Madness. But today, this is the reaction video of the bracket that we have gotten this year. Now, before we look at the bracket, we're going to go head on over to my Instagram to check out these two posts, specifically here, the last four in and the last four out. And then quick look here, multi-big conferences, the conferences that got more. We got 8 Big 12, SEC, 6 Big 10, Mountain West. Wow, 6 Mountain West teams. Only 5 Atlantic Coast. They had a down year. You know, the ACC used to be the most dominant conference in basketball, and it is factually the most historic conference in basketball, but they have fallen off with the rise of the SEC and Big 12, who are now the quote-unquote powerhouses. But at the end of the day, these two conferences do not show up in March Madness. ACC, however, last year had the best record by conference. Incredible record by conference last year. The last 2 years, actually. The Big 12, SEC always are in the top 25s, always ranked, but when March Madness hits, they falter. Pac-12, number 4 there, very weak conference in my opinion. Big East, I think it's an underrated conference. And we got 2 American, the Atlantic 10, and the West Coast. I wanted to first discuss this, the last 4 in and last 4 out. Now, looking here, Boise State, Colorado, Virginia, Colorado State. Funny, 2 Colorado teams. Virginia should not be in here. They did not have a good year. If you can see in the comments, a lot of people are thinking that Pittsburgh got robbed. I agree. This is a great comment right here. Pitt robbed. They beat Virginia at Virginia, beat Duke at Duke, swept State, NC State, who won the conference, by the way. And their KenPom is higher. What else we got? Seton Hall, Indiana State. So in my opinion, I don't think that Virginia should be in here at all. Let's see what people said about Boise State. I didn't even realize that Boise State was a good team, to be frank. I didn't know they had a basketball program. Huh. The last 4 out. I really think that some of these teams might have gotten in. Oklahoma is dog water. They should not have gotten in. That's a fact. But these 3 teams, I could have made a case. I definitely think that Pittsburgh should have been in over Virginia. I could change one thing. It would have been to switch Pittsburgh with Virginia, in my opinion. Anyways, let's now, after this, go to the bracket and see what we've got. We'll start with the East. Over here on the left, top left, we've got UConn, number 1 overall seed. People think that they might be the first team to go back-to-back in a very, very long time. They are primarily to do so. They're a very, very talented team. They have had some losses, some glaring losses, but did have a great, great season. And I wouldn't put it past them to run it back. Versus number 16 stuff. And then we got FAU. Now, FAU started the season, as we all know, last year. They went to the Final Four and had a breakout season that season in the March Madness, and they started in the top 10. And they still are a good team, but they had a down year this year. I think the hype built up to them. They played probably a much more tougher, had a much more tougher season in terms of the teams they played, and they didn't play as well. So they actually drew a really tough seed here. Honestly, if they were in any other bracket, if they were here, here, or here, and they were still in this 8 seed position, I would have them beating every 1 seed. They could beat Houston, they could beat Purdue, they could beat North Carolina, they could beat UConn, but that is definitely the toughest. one seed to beat, in my opinion. So tough draw for them against Northwestern. I don't know, dude. ESPN has a cool thing where if you go to, as you see, the first 4 games are being played here. The ESPN, if you go to this app here and you do a preview, you can come down here and it'll talk a little bit about their insights, analyst review. But at the same time, can't really ever trust analyst reviews because it's March Madness, baby. This thing is crazy. You never know what's going to happen. Who else? I don't know what I like, which one I like better, ESPN's version or this one. We'll go with this one though, 'cause it's got a light theme. Actually, that's kind of annoying my eyes. We're gonna go with this ESPN theme because I like the darker. And we've got San Diego State and UAB, a 5 seed versus 12 seed. Now this is a very potential upset right here. As you know, San Diego State also went to the Final Four and even the national championship no. Did they? Yeah, they did. Yeah, they beat FAU in the Final Four and they got smacked by UConn in the championship. That's right. Versus UAB. UAB, this is a potential upset right here. Not gonna lie. Go over to UAB section. Almost beat Clemson. Lost to Florida Atlantic. Beat Florida Atlantic. Got smacked by Memphis. Yikes. Drawing fouls, making free throws. Free throws are very important. March Madness. Remember that. Offensive rebounding, very important. And they're inaccurate. Got double machine in the sky. Worst defense in the tournament. That's a glaring issue. If they have a bad defense, you're in trouble. We got Yale and Auburn. Now Yale is a very, very strong team. People might think this could be an upset, but I think that Yale, very tough team to beat. They came out of the SEC and did very, very well. So they could be a trouble for UConn. They really could. Then we got BYU. Now BYU was formerly in the West Coast Conference. Always gave Gonzaga and St. Mary's a run for the money. Been a very, very good tournament team. A very, very good team. Very, very good team. The last 5+ years, they're playing. How do you say that name? People thought they were going to have a horrible year moving to the Big 12 and a bigger conference, but they surprised us. They beat Iowa State once, beat Kansas, beat TCU, beat Baylor. Very respectable first season in the Big 12. Very good team. Good 3-ball shooting. Good offensive efficiency. Great defensive rebounding, ready challenge. This is one of the popular upset picks, though. Coming in hot. Won the Atlantic 10, which is honestly is decent. I mean, you got Dayton, VCU. It's a pretty good conference. So potential upset right here, folks. Illinois, Morehead State. I honestly haven't watched any Illinois games at all this season. So I'm not too sure about that one. Watching Drake. Now Drake, 28-6, had a great year. This is a big potential upset right here, folks. If I had to guess. Big potential upset. Iowa State. Iowa State is, man, they are a good team. I really think that Iowa State should have been a 1 seed over North Carolina here. Iowa State is a very, very good team. Beat Houston. Beat Kansas. Won the Big 12. Look at this right here. 69-41. Smacked Houston in the Big 12 tournament championship. Good defense. Very good defense. This could be a very tough team to beat right here. So keep an eye on them. Let's go ahead and go over to Houston now on the south side. We got Houston and Longwood. Houston, obviously a 1 seed, one of the better teams of the year. They've had some blowouts though. This one was glaring. Very glaring. They're a good team. Blew out Texas Tech. Blew out Baylor. Blew out Kansas. Tough team to beat. Nebraska and A&M. Now here, this is the game you guys want to watch. This game right here, Nebraska and A&M, is going to be crazy because they have two of the best guards. They got this guy and Wade Taylor. These guys are freaking crazy scorers. And if one of these guys get hot and goes on a run, watch out. All I'm saying is either one of these teams could run this side of the bracket. Either one of these teams, if they get hot, could win this. This region. However, if I had to make my rank, Texas A&M has been super up and down all year long. I mean, they can play against anybody, but they are just either they're on or they're off. There's no in between. So that's gonna probably be one of the best games in the first round, in my opinion. Wisconsin and James Madison. This is also another very potential upset. James Madison has the most wins the entire NCAA at 31-3. Really good team. Beat Michigan State in the very first game of the year. So potential upset right here, folks. Duke and Vermont. Now Duke has had a down year per Duke standards. I'm a big Duke fan. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. And the Duke just seems like they play scared and they don't play tough. They don't play physical. When things get out of hand, they, instead of, all right, guys, let's get together, they just flop and they fall forward on their faces. I have never been really big on Jeremy Roach, even though he is now a senior. I just don't think he's really that great of a player. I think, whatever. Cal Filipowski, while he's had a great year, I really thought he'd be more dominant this year and would have been one of the front runners for player of the year, but down year for Duke. Texas Tech, NC State. Now, NC State just won the ACC. Now, so we saw, I think a year or two ago, it was Virginia Tech that won the ACC and knocked off a bunch of teams, and the hype built around them. Like, oh, Virginia Tech's going to go to the Final Four. They're going to go to the Elite Eight and blow up people. They got smacked in the first round. So do not be fooled that NC State is red hot, because look at here. They beat Duke and North Carolina. Throughout the 11-3, talking a little last games, 5-game run to the AC tournament. But be careful though with hype trains. Now, Texas Tech is not one of those games they can play with anybody, but if you look at some of their losses, it's a bit glaring. They can get blown out real quick. Strong offensive team. Struggle defensively. On the glass, that's bad. You need to rebound in March Madness. Potential upset there, though, but I wouldn't depend upon it. Kentucky and Oakland. Now, Kentucky, I think, has one of the better chances this year. They are a really good team. This guy, Antonio Reeves, is playing lights out. Honestly, he should have been All-American, in my opinion. At least second team, and he wasn't. This guy is crazy good. UK is a lot better than they've been in a couple years. They've had some down years, but this is a good team. They can make a deep run. I really could see them winning this side of the bracket, to be frank. Really could. And we got Florida and this game, their first 4 game. Florida is a decent team. They've had some really good runs. They've beaten some really good teams. But Boise State and Colorado are also really good teams. Potential upset here. Marquette, Western Kentucky. Marquette has one of the best guards in the country. With Tyler Kolek, or however you say his name. I think in terms of overall toughness, I really think when looking at it, I would say, nah, this is, I don't know. I was going to say this is the weakest side of the bracket, but now that I'm looking at it, maybe not. Let's go ahead and go over here. Let's go back to the left, to the west side, North Carolina. The 1 seed going to be facing Howard or Wagner. Now, North Carolina is another one of those teams where they had an even kill year. They had some really shining moments and some very bad moments. If they're on point and they're shooting well, very dangerous team because they have a lot of shooters. They have their main point guard, Archer Davis. He is an absolute stud. Armando Baycock, big presence down low, although I think he plays a bit dirty and is a bit overrated. They have a really good freshman that can shoot the three, lights out, plays good defense. This is a really, really good team. But they are prone to lapses. They could be upset early, though. I will say that. I really do. Again, I do think that they should have been 2 seed. They should have been switched to Iowa State, in my opinion. Mississippi State and Michigan State. Michigan State sneaked in. People thought they weren't going to make it this year, but they did. Notched a pair win, so they beat Tennessee twice, did they? Wow, they did. Impressive. 5 losses in the last 7 games. Strong on defense. Pressures the Michigan State. Michigan State has some good point guards. Tyson Walker is really good. Beat Baylor. A lot of losses, though, to a lot of good teams. Senior guard, that's always a good thing. Struggle with free throws, that's not good. Free throws are big, so watch out right here. St. Mary's can here's one. Big upset, potentially. St. Mary's actually won the conference. Actually could have gone undefeated. They would beat Gonzaga all 3 times. Because until right here, they were on like a 15-game win streak. And then Gonzaga finally beat them, blew them out. And then they got their revenge in the WCC Conference Championship game. 1 game since Christmas. Wow. They have a good team. They really do. The Grand Canyon again. West Coast Conference is notoriously a weak conference. It's Gonzaga and there's 3 teams. Great coach here in Bryce Drew. Really great start to his tenure. I'm assuming he'll move on eventually to a bigger school. Top 5, both offense and defense. Impressive. They got a star, and this guy right here, 19 points. So if he goes off, St. Mary's is going down, folks. And Alabama and Charleston. This is a huge upset. Alabama is absolutely doo-doo water. They shoot threes like it's nobody's business. They'll rain in threes. If they're making them, they're good. But if they have an off night, 3-point centers, they're going down. I would not be surprised if Charleston beats them. Honestly, I would not be surprised if you see this and you see this, a 12 seed and 13 seed playing. That would not shock me whatsoever. Just got to be real with you. Clemson and with New Mexico. Now, I got a buddy that actually graduated from New Mexico State. He is now in the Army. He's a officer in the Army. Big ups to my man. Love him. I'm picking this upset no matter what. Even though I'm an ACC fan, New Mexico all the way, boy. New Mexico all the way. They are a great team. They've got a absolutely stud and Jalen House. This is a real team. They can make a deep run. If we ever see an 11 seed again in the Final Four, like we have in the past couple of times, like VCU and who's that other 11 seed? I forget their name. Oh, Loyola Chicago. I think they were 11 seed. This is the next 11 seed that could make a Final Four run right here, especially in this conference, in this area. They really could, because we've seen Arizona lose early twice now. Twice. One in the second round, and then in the first round the last 2 years. So they also got Caleb Love, and he, at the end of games, he is prone to make really dumb decisions and take stupid shots. Sometimes they go in, but most of the times they do not go in. So this is a team that could go out early. Dayton and Nevada, potential quote unquote upset here. I don't really know who will win this one. Arizona. So this side of the bracket could be upset central right here. Really, really good. This would be really cool if we saw this. Look at this. I'm gonna just for a quick second do. This thing goes into full madness. Okay, Grand Canyon. North Carolina gets downed. Who else we got? Colgate takes out Baylor. Dayton survives. Arizona survives. Arizona somehow survives. They finally get past the second round, but they still lose to Mexico State. Grand Canyon versus Michigan State. Grand Canyon, 11 versus 12. Wouldn't that be crazy? Mexico in the Final Four. That's not going to happen, but if that happened, that would be freaking sick. Let's move on to the Midwest. I'm really excited for this region. You probably already know the reason why. We've got Purdue. in their first 4 games. Purdue is the laughingstock of the NCAA. They always have one of the best years, always in the top 5, and they always lose in the first couple of rounds. They always get demolished by some no-name team that we've never heard of. Last year they were 1 seed and lost to a 16 team. Could it happen again? You're damn right it could. You're damn right it could. Honestly, they could lose to anyone in this bracket. So if they honestly, it would be a bigger shock if they go to the Final Four than it would be for them to lose. Like it would shock the entire nation if they actually made it out of this bracket or out of this region. It really would. We've got Gonzaga. Oh, sorry, Utah State and TCU. Now TCU is in the Big 12. Decent year. TCU, the Big 12, arguably the best conference in basketball. Very, very tough conference. Beat Houston. Beat Baylor. But lost twice to Iowa State. Got their ass beat by Houston. Simple team. Right on the floor. Crashed the boards. Fast break points. Second chance points. Forcing turnovers. Front ball in the interior. Versus who? Utah State. Okay. Honestly, I could see TCU winning that one, personally. I think they're in a tough conference. So we'll see. Gonzaga and McNeese. Now, McNeese State is in the conference of the school that I am in. In fact, the school that I go to had been to the tournament 3 years in a row until this new coach comes out of nowhere. What's this guy's name? Will Wade. This guy, unbelievable turnaround. This team was dog water for the last couple of years, and they're 30-3. 30-3. This guy, Shadow Wells, crazy good player. This is a team that can make a deep, deep run. Best in the points off turnovers, limit mistakes. Shoot better than 40%. They are a good shooting team. They beat Michigan. That's the school I go to right here. Corpus Christi. So now you guys can find my location. Don't really care though. Michigan's one of the good teams this year, but still. Now, the conference they're in is the Big South. Is a very, very, very small conference, so they have not played anybody, to be frank, other than Michigan. Again, Michigan sucked this year. Gonzaga is a good team. Decent team. But very big potential upset. That's probably going to be one of the favorite upsets right here. Because remember, 5 seeds are notorious for going down. So we've got Kansas and Sanford. Now, Kansas' top 2 players are out, folks. They did not play in the Big tournament. That's why they lost. I think that's why they got smacked by Houston. Kevin McCullough Jr., Hunter Dixon missed the Big tournament with injuries. If these guys, if they come back, they could win this bracket easily. If they don't come back, they could lose this first round very potentially. If those guys don't come back, they will not last. But if they do come back, this could be a Final Four team. But we'll see what happens. Kansas had a down year. It's kind of impressive, though, that Kansas had a down year and they were 4 seed. That's pretty impressive. North Carolina versus Oregon. Oregon, red hot, folks. Red hot. They just won the Pac-12. Again, not the strongest conference. I will admit it. But they just won the Pac-12. They were on fire. They were going 7 of 8, final 15 games, and then boom, they won the Pac-12. But again, like I said, with Virginia Tech, and this year with NC State, conference hype, winning a conference championship when you weren't supposed to, and you bring that hype in the tournament, does not always work out. It really doesn't. But they're playing a good team, South Carolina. Now, South Carolina, as we look over here, blowout. 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 They can get blown out like that. But they beat Kentucky. They beat Tennessee. Beat Florida. Balanced team. Takes care of the ball on offense. Knows how to win. So lack of efficiency. Okay. on the offensive end. But does Oregon have a good defensive team? Let's look. Potential upset here. Really, it could go either way. Creighton versus Akron. Now, Creighton is a dangerous, dangerous team, folks. Very, very, very good team. But like other teams, they're prone to lapses. And we're like, this is not the Creighton we know. Trey Alexander, Ron Kalkbrenner, and Brother Scheiman. Dominant team on both sides of the ball. Great two-point shooting team. But like I said, sometimes they just disappear, folks. But if they get together, they could finally. I mean, this team has been primed and ready to make a Final Four run for the last 2-3 years, and they just haven't. I think this year might be the year, to be frank. Texas, UVA versus CSU. I'm pulling for CSU because I don't think UVA should get it in. Texas had a down year. They should have never fired Chris Beard. He was proven innocent. What happened was that he was accused of assaulting his fiancée or wife. She dropped the charges. He was acquitted. But Texas, obviously being at uber liberal school now, unfortunately fired him the first chance they got. Last year, they almost went to the Final Four if Miami hadn't cheated and played dirty. That was some of the worst fishing I've ever seen in my entire life. I digress. That was a fluke year for Miami because this year they were absolutely dog water with virtually the same exact team. They freaking sucked. But Texas had the same team this year. But they added Max Abras, who was one of the best guards in the country. He played at, I forget school he played at, but they had a big run. He, along with another guy, Okafor, I think, who actually transferred to Texas Tech, they were a great March Madness team. So they got better than last year, but that new coach, who was the assistant coach, I forget his name, Ronnie Terry, that guy is a horrible coach, dude. Horrible. They got to get rid of that dude. Otherwise, Texas is going to go right back down the drain. Because Texas was building momentum with Chris Beard. They're going to be, honestly, probably a dominant team for many years to come. We're going to dominate the Big 12, and what I thought, and we're going to be a very good team in March Madness for many years to come. Got rid of Chris Beard, as we already see, it's already slipping down. If Ronnie Terry stays as the coach, they're going to go downhill real quick. Because Texas is an uber talented team. They're one of the most talented teams in the country, in my opinion. And they're a 7 seed. Are you freaking kidding me? Like this guy, his rotations are horrible. He changes the starting 5 all the time. He apparently can't handle people doing horns down. He like goes into a frenzy, has like a heart attack almost, and has a temper tantrum online. I don't know. This dude's a clown. Get him out of there. However, like I said, very talented team. If they pull it together, folks, watch out. If Mac Ambrose goes off, watch out. Then we got Tennessee, one of the most dominant teams of the year, 24-8. Very, very good team. Beat Purdue. Duh. Purdue sucks. Blew out Alabama. Blew out Kentucky. Got blown out by Texas A&M. Strong offense, but the defense is their calling card, so they are good both ways. Now, here's the thing about March Madness. There's this guy on Instagram, I forget his name, that talks about this rating where it's their net rating. And so if you have a high net rating in both categories, you are primed ready to win a March Madness because you got to have a high net rating in both. And this whole algorithm thing, and it works. Honestly, his algorithm works. So if you find his Instagram, go watch it because it is a proven fact this algorithm does work, and those teams always perform well on March Madness. Tennessee's one of those, UConn's one of those, and Houston's one of those. So, but again, we've seen Tennessee lose early quite often. So that's March Madness. Really excited. Can't wait to see what happened. I mean, last year was an absolute treat. So many crazy upsets. I can't wait to see what happens this year. Okay, because I feel like this year, similar to last year, just like this year, there was no one true dominant team outside of UConn and Houston. And even then, they got blown out from time to time. Like Creighton blew up UConn, and Houston got blown out. Like there was no true dominant team this year, so we have no idea what's going to happen, folks. No idea. It's going to be a great time. I can't wait. And I will see you guys in the next video. Keep it frosty.